next comic coming up to the Zoom stage. He's great. You've seen him on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Give up for Eric Deskin, everybody. Eric Deskin, everyone. Give up for him.
Thank you, guys. Hey, thanks. I am coming to you from Los Angeles from a blood-stained hotel room. I don't know if you can see me. I'm actually at a beautiful house in the Hollywood Hills with an infinity pool, but I didn't want to make anyone feel self-conscious about their surroundings. So I downloaded this Fleabag Motel backdrop. Pretty cool. Hey, Sandeep, I just want to point out that I am woke. Very woke. I love rap music. Well, Hamilton. And I do support Black Lives Matter. I got to march. It really was my white privilege to march. Black Lives Matter. But those giant crowds, I'll be honest, make me a little uncomfortable. So I always made sure I was kind of on the outside of the crowd. And one of the marches I went to, everyone was meeting up at Hollywood and Vine. Giant crowd. I'm on the outside, on the south side of Hollywood Boulevard. And then I hear someone say, hey, we're going south. And I realize they're going to start marching south in my direction. So I'm thinking, let me get out in front of this. So I start heading south down Vine. Well, about a third of the way down the block, I turn around. I realize that everyone is now following me. For about 100 yards, I was leading the Black Lives Matter protest through the streets of Hollywood. I was both the problem and the solution. Then they started chanting, what do we want? Somebody else leading the parade, okay? This guy looks like he's here for clothes. I love Zoom shows. Thank you, Drew, for the intro. I forgot to give you my other credits. Some of you guys may also recognize me from Zoom meeting number 6794-875. Anybody else in that meeting? That was a good meeting. Password 6742. No, a lot of comics like to make fun to shit on Zoom comedy. I think it's fantastic. Zoom comedy is like doing comedy in front of the intercom at your friend's building, begging to be let in. Hey, is Howie home? I have some jokes. Can you let me in? I have some jokes for Howie. And that's for the people who have the cameras on. If it's just like a name and a square, it's like performing in front of your mailboxes, which I have done. I have done. I've been doing comedy a long time, over 20 years. Still working on my type 5. We're gonna get there, people. We're gonna get there. Mrs. Maisel got it in half an episode. I call bullshit. But my mom passed away in 2016. In the spring of 2016, my mom passed away. Her last words were, Donald Trump, I'm out. And I'm going to be honest, it was weird doing comedy after my mom passed away, not because I was depressed. I just figured, what is the point of being a comedian if she's not around to be disappointed in my life choices? Because I am clearly a disappointment. I used to be a lawyer. Anybody else have no soul? Where are you? I'd like to point out, not all lawyers are bad. We have some good lawyers. Michael Cohen, right? Wonderful man, wrote a tell-all book, letting us know that Donald Trump is a piece of shit. God bless you, Michael Cohen. That's a good lawyer. I'm not a lawyer anymore, I should point out, except on dating apps. I, on the other hand, was not a good lawyer. I was not. My legal advice was always just sign it. Not a good lawyer. And then people will still ask me for legal advice. My friends will still ask me for legal advice. I'm like, what part of I tell dick jokes on Zoom calls do you not get? My last client, currently serving a 3 to 6 year prison term. And that was a condo closing. You don't want me as your attorney. I'm just kidding, though, about the online. I actually have a girlfriend. I know, so gay, right? My girlfriend, we've been dating, we just hit the 1 year mark, which, if you know me, in Eric Deskin years, that's 11 years. She is, get this, she is Jewish and Mexican, which means she is definitely not paying for the wall. And if you're keeping score, that joke is both racist and anti-Semitic, or as Donald Trump would call it, a beautiful joke. But I'm not good. I'm terrible at relationships. We played the hall pass game. Are you familiar with the hall pass game that you play with your spouse? Don't play the hall pass game. That's when you and your spouse get together and you give each other a pass to sleep with someone. Right? So she's like, who's your hall pass? And I'm like, I don't want to play this game. Who's your hall pass? So I said, okay, Catherine Hahn, you know, the delightful, quirky, adorable character actor, Catherine Hahn in every third movie. Love her. And I said, who's yours? And she said, your friend Ken. Okay, the point is, it's not someone you can actually sleep with, okay? But we're trying to keep the sex life spicy. We want to have a threesome. We're just waiting for the okay from the governor. I believe it's 7 threesomes. And I don't want to brag, but I recently made a woman squirt. I stabbed her in the aorta. I now, for the record, I am not comfortable with that joke. And I was like, that sounds like an Anthony Jeselnik joke. I'm sure he hasn't said something as horrible as that before. But I said that, and my girlfriend, who's a social worker and arguably a much better person than me, she said, oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm like, I can't say that. That's terrible. She's like, why is it terrible? I don't know. The whole Me Too thing. She's like, well, me too. I mean, not harassing anyone. No, I'm just bludgeoning a woman. Okay, I appreciate your input. I am a native New Yorker, been in LA about 8 years. And it was a little bit of adjustment at first, but I got it all figured out. I got LA all figured out right now, by now. Everybody is full of shit. That's how you figure out it. Everything you hear. When I first got here, it's like, wow, everybody's got shit going on, right? They're busy, they're doing, right? Everywhere you go, there are meetings and screenplays, and I realize everybody's full of shit, right? And here's a little algorithm how to tell when LA people are full of shit. Like if somebody says they have a script in development, what that really means is they downloaded a bootleg copy of Final Draft. That's all that means. If somebody says they are up for the lead role in an independent feature film, all that really means is they self-submitted themselves on Actors Access for a USC student film. That's all that means. And if somebody says they just worked on a pilot, that means they blew a guy at LAX. That is. My girlfriend keeps finding sex toys that I can't identify what they might possibly be used for by looking at them. Have you seen the latest collection of sex toys? You can't tell by looking at these things where they go or what they might be used for. They are beautiful. They're like museum pieces. They're like glass, wood, metal sculptures. I'm like, is that a butt plug or a Brancusi, for God's sake? Literally trying to shove the museum gift shop up my ass. I don't know what. And I keep thinking, like, I am too old for like sexual experimentation. I am 56, although this year I celebrated 2 birthdays because the past 7 months it felt like double the amount of time. Right, but can we talk about ageism? I feel like ageism, by the way, I said my age, and you're not supposed to say your age in Hollywood, but what are they going to not give me Zac Efron's roles? 22-year-olds not going to hook up with me? They're not. Anyway, they didn't when I was 22. Point is, ageism. We could still make old guy jokes, right? And they're always funny until you're the old guy in the old guy joke, right? I have a doctor. My doctor, Dr. Burton, my doctor is 91 years old. I didn't know that. The guy came into the room. I was like, holy shit, my doctor needs a doctor. This man delivered Humphrey Bogart. That's how old this guy is. This guy, he kept referring to penicillin as that new drug. I was afraid he was going to fall asleep with his finger in my ass. That's how old the guy was. Let me rephrase that. I was hoping he would fall asleep with his finger in my All right, well, thank you. He said one thing like this past week that it's like the first thing I've ever agreed with. He said, we're all tired of COVID. We are. We're tired of COVID. I have like 19 masks. I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. from insomnia and I go mask shopping on Etsy. I can't stop buying masks. It's a problem, but you got to wear your masks. And, you know, a lot of anti-maskers, and I empathize because it can be dangerous. This morning, I forgot to take my mask off in the shower, accidentally waterboarded myself. Right? And there's a sheriff in Florida who has actually banned his deputies from wearing masks. I mean, these poor bastards cannot even play the lead in Phantom of the Opera. They can't jump into goal during a hockey game. Can't do that. They can't even exfoliate, for God's sakes. So wear your mask. Hey, that is my time. Thanks so much, everybody.
Eric Deskin, everybody, give it up for him.